So we're watching all the Marvel Cinematic Universe films. You can watch the other ones by going to our playlist, where we're making Stella watch them all. Are they going to be right in your face or something? They don't have annotations like that anymore. But so in turn, I have to watch 23 of her own movies, and that video will be right after this.
Movies that I made, 23 of my own.
I didn't know you made 23. But right now, we're on the 4th MCU film, THOR, from 2011, directed by Kenneth Branagh, best known for the Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets film.
Ew.
Yeah.
That makes this movie worse.
Why?
Because that one's good and this one is not.
Do you remember who he was in Chamber of Secrets?
Yeah, I think you told me.
Yeah, Gilderoy Lockhart. So, THOR, starring Chris Hemsworth. Whoa. Also stars, I'm going to forget everyone's name. Tom Hiddleston as Loki, the introduction of the villain Loki into the franchise. And Natalie Portman, who
That's the only one I know.
I forget she's even in this movie because she's barely in any of the other movies. She's not in the 3rd Thor movie. She's going to be in the 4th one, apparently. But THOR,
Slow down.
the first Thor movie. What did you think of it?
I was very bored.
Okay.
And it's gone.
Yep.
We watched this 2 weeks ago and I forgot it as soon as it was over. I enjoyed it that much.
Well, it's not good. I mean...
Kat Dennings. Is that what her name is?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really not a fan of her also.
You don't watch Two Broke Girls? Weekly? THOR, I don't think, is one of the better revered Marvel movies. I think most people have forgotten them at this point. The first 2 Thor movies, anyway.
People only like Chris Hemsworth. They don't actually like Thor.
I don't know about that. Well, I mean, maybe the girls. People really liked Tom Hiddleston in this movie, and he got a huge cult following, basically, just from playing Loki. He was the one the girls were always talking about, actually, not Thor. They were always talking about Loki.
See it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can see it.
Ew, really?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not a big fan of Loki in this one. I like him better in Avengers and the other movies. Not so much in this one. I think he's just kind of a...
Looks-wise, I'm asking.
I mean, I like Chris Hemsworth better look-wise, but I don't think Tom Hiddleston's a bad-looking dude.
Looks creepy.
Well, did you like Thor at all? Did you like Chris Hemsworth's portrayal as Thor?
I'm sorry, but I could care less. No. I did not like their weird... Is it a different planet? Whatever that is.
It's a realm.
Well, planet. I didn't like that.
Asgard.
We're not calling it that.
Okay. I don't like the fish out of water story that they do on Earth. I really wish they wouldn't bring him to Earth. I'd rather they just keep him in space on Asgard. I keep calling it Asgard. I'm trying to say Asgard, but I wish they would have kept him in space, which is pretty much what Thor Ragnarok did, which is a movie I find way, way, way better than Thor.
I fell asleep.
During Thor, yeah. Actually during Thor Ragnarok, when we saw it in theaters. Yeah, Stella's seen a couple MCU movies, kind of. Yeah, I was never a big fan of Thor. Even when it first came out, I was very bored. I don't like this kind of movie. I was never a big fantasy guy, and that's pretty much what this is, and has a lot of Norse mythology mixed into it, which is another kind of...
I like mythology, but I did not like this.
I don't know if I really like mythology-based movies, or it's not my favorite thing. A lot of people really dig this stuff, and I just didn't as much. So as a kid, I immediately wrote it off. Was not really into it. But even now, it's still not a movie that's very entertaining.
I did not buy Natalie Portman. I don't know what is her
Jane Foster.
And Thor's relationship at all. What is her appeal? Like, oh, because I'm a scientist and I can study you and date you at the same time.
It proves some of their theories that they had.
No, their relationship. Why is she so into him, and why is he like?
Because
it will not work.
He is attractive guy and she is attractive girl, so they must be together.
No, I really don't like their relationship.
A lot of people probably didn't because she doesn't show up in Ragnarok. She's not a love interest anymore in the series, and she is coming back for the 4th movie, but I don't think she's going to be a love interest there either. I assume that they're not going to try to get that start again, but I think they're bringing her back only so she could be Lady Thor. But I don't know if they're going to actually have them end up together. And if they do, I feel like they're going to change a lot of her character. The same way that...
Her character is fine. And his character is kind of boring, but fine. Just them together.
There's like no chemistry there. There's just nothing there.
It doesn't work.
Did you like Loki? Did you like Loki in the movie? Besides the fact that he looked like a creep, as you said.
Yeah. He was probably the only part I did like.
Mm-hmm. Frost giant. He's a frost giant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in his blue frost giant form. This is the only one that you see him like that.
Can you put a picture of his bug outfit?
You can. I don't know. I would think more reindeer than I would a bug, but...
His hat and it has little bloop.
Antennas, yeah. Okay.
Because the antennas are down here. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not too big into him in this movie. I like him in the other ones. This one, he just seems like a whiny teenage boy.
Yeah. I did not like the dad. I did not like Thor, really. He's fine. I liked Jane. I did not like her with Thor. Therefore, I do not like her. Just kidding. I did not like Bill from Mamma Mia.
Stellan Skarsgård.
I did not like Kat Denny.
So you didn't like any of the characters?
No, I did not care about any of them.
Yeah, that's kind of a lot of people's issues with the movie. That and the story's not too riveting. The villain is Loki in a way, but really it's not. It's more that he sends that like robot protector guy from Asgard to go down onto the planet and cause havoc on that little kind of middle of nowhere New Mexico town. So there's not a lot of tension there. It's not a very funny movie. It's visually, I think it has on Asgard there's some visually pleasing moments, but even then most of it's on Earth, and most of Earth is shot with this very dry, kind of boring... It's very dry, even in just the fact that it's set in the desert, so it just has this sort of boring look to it all.
Iron Man 1 was in the desert for a lot of that, but that didn't feel boring. Yeah,
because they actually mixed up the settings a little bit, even when they were on the desert. Like, they were in darker caves, and, you know, they would come out into the light, and there were different versions of the desert, too. Like, this one's just like a flat, plain town the whole time, and it's not... I'm not into it, really. And, you know, some of the visuals on Asgard I like, but then we get to the later movies, especially Ragnarok, and I think Asgard looks even better in that movie. So, for comparison's sake, it makes this movie even weaker now. Idris Elba's in the movie. It barely feels like he's in the movie. He apparently hated doing these movies, and I can see why, because they put him in this, like, tight mask the whole time, and he's not really given too many lines. He's very boring. I'm surprised that he's in these movies because it doesn't seem like he's at all a big deal, or as big of a deal as he was supposed to be. Like, even
he's in it for like 2 minutes,
and he shows up in all of them, and he's in Infinity War, but in all of them he's barely. He's also in Age of Ultron, so it's like he keeps popping up, but he keeps kind of just doing nothing. I don't know. So I think this is just a character that's kind of hard to get into because he is mythology, and automatically he just doesn't really fit in with the Marvel world in a way.
Why did his dad say... He basically took away his hammer.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you need to earn this. What was that little fight about?
Mjolnir. That's the name of the hammer, I think. Mjolnir.
I don't care.
He took it away because he declared war on the Frost Giants, even though they had peace with them in a way, but they weren't like good people still, and Thor didn't like them, and he didn't like that they were, you know, overshadowing them constantly, and he was always fearful of them, like they're a big danger, so he pretty much took his buddies and they were like, we're gonna go take the Frost Giants down. Ruh! Because I think one of them at the beginning of the movie tried to break into their vault, and then you know, that protector, which I don't remember the name of, but he kills them. So saves the day, and no one's like, no, it's fine. Even though he's like, no, they're evil and they're always trying to attack us. He's like, it was just a few people, don't worry about it. And that's why Thor goes and attacks the frost giants and then causes havoc, and then Odin has to go save the day. But he's like, my son's an idiot. He didn't listen to me at all.
Basically, his dad is like, no, I'm going to take your toy away from him until you can be nice and earn it back. And he does. Surprise! I'm like,
that is the plot. Pretty much. It's not riveting.
You know he's gonna get it back. It's like,
it mostly exists just to be a movie that introduces the character because Avengers was coming out. This was pretty much their first really out there movie also, because Hulk had been done before. People knew Hulk. Iron Man is very much of the real world. Thor is not of this world. He's mythology. He's really far out there. And yeah, it was probably at the time trying to incorporate him in the same universe as Iron Man. It was crazy, but they pulled it off, I guess. But I think in Avengers they pull it off way better. It's way more believable and invigorating in that movie rather than this one. So I don't know. They know how to make a good Thor movie now because they made Thor Ragnarok, and Thor's character.
We'll see if I like it more when I know what's going on.
I think you will, because he's more entertaining. They're just more entertaining in general, and his character gets a lot better in Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Endgame. So
you know what my favorite part of that movie was?
Of what?
Thor. I don't know how to say that.
Ragnarok?
Yep.
What?
Why did I thought? I thought it was Roanoke.
Oh.
I don't know what it is, but I say it wrong. I don't know how do you say it?
I don't know either.
My favorite part of that movie was when the Hulk showed up.
Oh.
And it's not his movie, so
it's probably the best Hulk movie, though. I mean, if it's not
like arena and they're fighting.
Yeah, but it's probably like the best Hulk movie that there's been. Just him being in that movie. So Thor, what do you give it out of 10?
4.
4. Okay, I think I give it 5.
For Thor.
Yeah, I think I gave it.
You didn't even care about that.
I wasn't thinking because I was trying to remember if I gave it a 6 or a 5. I don't remember. I think I gave it 5.
Either way, it's too high.
I don't know. It's not my favorite. I think it's probably down there. Incredible Hulk would definitely be under Thor, though. And I think Thor: The Dark World is it's my least favorite of all these. But we'll get to that when we talk about it, because I didn't hate it as much as I did before when I watched it with you, but I still don't like the movie. But Thor, yeah, just the first 2 movies don't do much for me, and that's not a new opinion. A lot of people pretty much think the same thing. But any other thoughts on Thor?
0.
0 out of 10.
Natalie Portman. I love her, but why? Why, honey?
I mean, she already did Attack of the Clones, so I don't know if she...
Yeah, and it was her best movie ever.
Whoa. Well, thanks for watching, everybody, and we're going to see you in the next video when we talk about a movie that's apparently way better than Thor, breaking down part 1, because there need to be 2 parts. Thanks for watching the video, and special shout out to Anthony, Anna, Lukas, NolanCho, Ryan, and Robert for the support on Patreon. By joining my Patreon, you can get exclusive videos and blogs, and for only $7, you can request your own movie review. I hope you stick around, cinephile, and have a happy, productive day.